Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing very well. So today I am just out in the garden. You may notice it looks a little bit different there behind me. I'm going to explain that. But it is a very windy day today. There isn't as much smoke in the air as there was yesterday. There are so many bushfires at the moment, and all the smoke and everything was just blowing all around town, but there isn't any today, which is great. You may remember from a couple of videos back I was talking about how we feel as though we are well and truly behind the 8 ball when it comes to our garden. That is still very much the case, because we should have had seeds in the ground probably at, I don't know, right at the end of August, so that things were well and truly sprouted and growing as we come into spring. But that's all right. We're still going to give it our absolute best. We want to make this garden as successful as we can. The only thing that I am concerned about though with this garden is how poor the soil looks. We got all this soil from the front of our shed when we excavated the front of it to sort of level it out a bit. This soil is very rocky. It doesn't look the greatest, but I'm hoping as every season goes by, the soil is going to improve, and ultimately so will our produce. Given that we were really behind in time and we sort of needed to get these beds made up like as soon as possible, Michael brought an excavating machine. It's not an excavator, it's just some I can't even remember the name. It's not a bobcat. It's way smaller than a bobcat. I can't quite remember what it's called, but we brought that in to shift the dirt. So I've been busy doing that, and it's pretty much gotten to the point now where I sort of can't do any more with that machine. I sort of have to do it by hand. And I know some of you are probably thinking, bringing a machine in to do it isn't really being self-sufficient. And I'm like, I know, but we're really behind the 8 ball and we really just want to get some seeds in the ground. So be it. I'll give you a look at it right now. This is how we're looking for the moment. So excuse the rubbish at the back there. That was to try and protect the beans, which didn't end up growing. But this first bed here, we've got the strawberries there. And then up from the strawberries, we've got our onions growing there. Onions are doing pretty well. And then up further behind that rubbish, we've got the corn. Nothing sprouted just yet, the corn that Reese and I planted the other day. Across here, so the corn, and this is also corn just here that we planted. Nothing's come up just yet, but I'll give you a look at all the beds. As you can see, it's really been scraped there from the machine. Looks a little bit too construction-y for my liking. I want it to look a little bit more natural as garden beds can look, if you know what I mean. But yeah, like I said, all that I can really do now is do everything else by hand. I didn't want to go taking the machine up through there just in case, I took out some onions or disturbed my corn. So I'll probably just rake all that out, shift that dirt by hand, which I'm fine with. And then as we come along, remember that really massive bed that was just all dirt there? That's been divided. Can probably take a bit more soil off the top of there because it's still quite high, and maybe shift it to the end of these ones. But yeah, like that clump in the dirt just there, I couldn't quite pick that up with the machine, so I can just shovel that out with the wheelbarrow and neaten this up with the wheelbarrow as well. Pretty much the same situation. We've also added another bed here. So previous to all of this, it was just sort of like a big bed, and then we had these 2 smaller beds here. But we've moved some dirt there, so we can probably use that big dirt pile there as more potatoes, because we've got some in the shed that need to be planted. And then up here we've got our potatoes, which they look like they're sort of coming back. But yeah, fingers crossed for them. So right next to our garden, what I've done is I have scraped all the grass off, right? I don't know if you can see or not, but I basically used that machine and just taken all the grass off, sort of dug it a little bit. All that grass that I did take off, I dumped here. That was our small compost bin, but I've dumped some really dodgy dirt and some of the grass in that. And this will be our compost heap where all the scraps go. Every once in a while, we'll give it a water, and then we'll turn it over on itself to sort of like move the soil down. My plans for this part here, if you didn't already realize or didn't work out, all this space here is going to be for pumpkins, and for our pumpkins and for our baby watermelon. If you're not familiar, pumpkins are sort of really viney type plant, and they're going to spread across all the way down that. So when they're growing there, we'll just try and pull them this way slowly. You're not going to rip it, otherwise you're going to rip the plant out, but we'll encourage it to grow along this part that I've sort of excavated, or whatever you call it. I think once it looks finished and when it's booming, it's going to look incredible. So I'm really excited about it. Yes, I am disappointed that we had to use heavy machinery to get it sort of underway, but I kid you not, it would have taken us probably a good 4 months to shift all this dirt by the wheelbarrow, because it is very time consuming. Anyway, that is really cool. So that's our little garden bed tour thing. I came up to the back of the shed. There's a bit of shade here. I thought it would be a nicer spot to show you the seeds that we've got. So the other day, Michael ordered some seeds online. We have been, like, you guys have suggested some really great companies to order our seeds through, but Michael's just gone ahead and ordered these. Didn't even know he ordered them, but he ordered them. So the first seeds we've got is some zucchini, some black zucchini there. We did try and grow these ones at the original Bilkara, but for some reason the zucchinis would grow, but then they would just rot and die off. So I'm not too sure what that was about. Michael read somewhere that zucchinis like to be watered from the base, not necessarily the top, so that could have been our issue. Also, we did have heaps of plants in the one spot, so my guess maybe was that they were too crammed together, not enough air circulating through them, I don't know. We've got some Lebanese cucumbers. We've got some tomatoes. I think it's Amish paste. Never heard of that tomato. Probably have. It's probably just a really fancy name for it. We've got some Bonnie Best tomatoes. If you guys have ever tried these tomatoes, let me know what your thoughts are on them, because I have no idea about any of these. The tomatoes we're going to be planting in the little seedling trays and then transplanting them into the garden. I think it might just be easier to do it with those ones. But the cucumbers and the zucchinis we'll just plant straight into the ground. He also ordered some capsicum. So we've got some Marconi red capsicums. I think those might just be the ones that you buy from the grocery store. And then we've got some Californian Wonder. Those are capsicums as well. I think these ones might be like a smaller capsicum. Not exactly sure. Honestly, I do not like capsicum. How weird is that? You're probably like, what? You don't like capsicum? But Michael does. But in saying that, I do really like salsa. I do like baked capsicum on like pizza or breads and stuff like that. But I haven't tried it in a long time, so you never know. And if I've grown it myself, I might be more inclined to eat it. So that's the seeds that he ordered online. I was at my auntie's house yesterday and I saw that her husband was cutting up some pumpkin, and I had saved some pumpkin seeds and dried them out and put them in a Ziploc bag, and when we moved, I've lost them. So I have no idea where they are, but I saw that he was cutting up some pumpkin and I was like, can I steal your pumpkin seeds? So I ended up stealing a couple of their pumpkin seeds. They're not dried out. I don't know if that's a massive issue to plant them when they're like wet, but I'm just gonna plant them anyway, see how we go. These are some older seeds that you might have seen in other videos. We've got the red Brunswick onions. I think that's how you pronounce these things. Guys, I'm new, don't judge me. But red onion, that's what's growing in our garden at the moment. We've got some watermelon sugar babies, I think they are. Yeah, sugar baby watermelon. So they're like a smaller watermelon. Then we've got some beans and stuff. But yeah, other than that, we're all good to go. Alrighty guys, well I am just about out of time, which sucks because I wanted to get so much more done, but as per usual, time is a problem. Anyway guys, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Wasn't a very crazy exciting one, but it was an update that I feel like I sort of needed to share. But yeah, other than that, I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.